Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name is Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning in to the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, thank you. What's hidden from the viewer? Thank you. Outcome and advice. Thank you. All right. Let's take a look at what... Oh, 10 of Cups is the overall energy of today's reading. You see this lovely myrrh couple under a rainbow. The 10 of Cups for me is a lot of emotions. These people have experienced the full experience, the full rainbow of emotions, difficulties, resentment, frustrations, anger, hurt, pain, joy, ease, connection. So they've experienced all these emotional experiences and they're choosing to be happy. It's not that they've not had a life of experiences and difficulties. They have had the full gamut, the full buffet of human experiences, and yet they're choosing to be happy anyway. It's a choice. So... all right, what do we need to know about this choice energy? We've got 3 of Wands reverse, 8 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles. Something's taken longer than expected. Something because of some belief system that's kept you clinging on to an environment, to beliefs that don't serve you. Okay, what does the viewer need to know about this overall energy and these messages? It looks like you've been exploring in this lifetime a lot of unhappy themes. Sun in reverse, it feels like since childhood. The Sun upright has a baby, a child on the card, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, ease, flow. There's the spotlight energy. With Sun in reverse, it feels like most of your life. It's been a long time. Maybe you were born into this 8 of Swords energy, limiting beliefs, very controlling perspectives that gave you a lens that you would perceive your world through that's very limited. This could be a cult, a religion, a family that has very controlling, you have to show up this way, you have to fit in. I'm hearing it's regimented, controlling. It's about behavior, it's about perception. It feels like in the environment I'm tuned into, it's not conducive, and it's not for children or anyone's inner child, this environment. There's something important to that. I don't feel that this environment that I'm tuned into is safe, let alone it's not even about happiness. I don't feel that this is a safe environment for children. With the World card, it looks like you're ending this cycle, or you've ended this limited way of seeing your world that kept you stuck. So it feels like we kind of skipped some steps to get to the World card, but that it feels like you've been deconstructing, deprogramming. There's a realization that you can't find what you're looking for in the environment that you were raised in. It's just toxic. It's not conducive to truth, to happiness. It feels like this environment is about towing the line, staying with the same mindset. You've got to see things the same way everyone else does. Individuality is not supported. I guess that's why I'm kind of seeing this as a cult type of energy. It doesn't have to literally be a cult. It's there's a structure of beliefs, and everybody needs to fit within that structure. And so everybody is trying to maintain the structure that everybody's in, the belief system, so it's not conducive and caring for the people in it. It's a mentality that we must uphold the belief system, not the individuals. It's void of humanity. It feels like people can get lost in that system. And it feels like a lot of justifications. Well, we need to protect the system, which is just so you lose touch with humanity. And it's okay. So with Three of Swords and Hierophant coming up, I'm seeing Hierophant as a tradition card, and it feels like you broke from tradition, from whatever this traditional environment is. I get the feeling that everybody who's still in this toxic environment has got a story about you, viewer, that you're the betrayal, the heartbreak, betraying the system, that kind of stuff. What's interesting is the betrayal, the lack of humanity that's in this environment. You're not going to, I think that's what you're looking for. You're looking for happiness. You're looking for connection, joy, care, love. Hi, Chuck. What's going on? Do you want a treat? Want a treat? Come here. No. What do you need, bud? Oh, there we go. Can you guys see? No. All right. Get the feeling that there was a lot of betrayal, heartbreaking betrayal. Like the people that are closest to you are more concerned with appearances and with this belief system, structure, appearances. It feels like it's okay for you to get hurt. As in, the people in this environment are okay with someone not being treated well. Or at least it's not them. They don't mind the structure. They feel somewhat comfortable in the structure, but it feels like you might be the scapegoat in this system, treated really poorly, and no one's standing up for you. No one cares. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, you don't have any protection. Feels like you might have PTSD or PTSD from chronic. It feels like from childhood you're having to stand up for yourself. and take care of yourself and raise yourself, because this is not a system conducive to the care of children or humanity. It's I get the feeling that they say the opposite. Whatever they say they're for, it's deceptive, it's manipulative. This is an environment that's so concerned with optics that they've lost the theme, they've lost their it's so frustrating to just reading this energy, because the deception and what they say they stand for is completely different than their actions, and yet it doesn't compute. I guess as someone who I really enjoy, I took a lot of math and science growing up, and so I love when the equations equal out and they make sense. And this doesn't equal out. This doesn't make sense at all. Feels like the people who are running this aren't solving for X. They've lost the plot. That's what it was. I was trying to say they've lost the plot. There's no care here. There's no love. It's just about maintaining the structure. Something it's baffling. I guess I'm trying as a soul to understand it. All right, not gonna fully understand it today. That's all right. All right, in what's hidden is the Two of Wands. Need to get back out there. Look, this gal has got the whole world in her hands, literally. She's looking at the moon. She's making plans. The story of the Two of Wands is that she's rushed, hurried, got back home, and she thinks that she has seen everything. She's experienced everything there is that this world has to offer. But she has the whole world in her hands, in her lap. So there's a whole world out there to explore, other than the mindset that she has, that's keeping her stuck in thinking that I've seen it all. All right, what do we need to know about this Two of Wands energy? Five of Swords reverse, King of Cups reverse, and Wheel of Fortune reverse. Something here about lessons, difficulty, challenges, difficult time, karma, with immaturity. Oh, I get what the belief is. This is the belief that's keeping, if maybe you, viewer, from getting back out there in the world. There's a belief that this is what the world has to offer, what I've been describing, that the whole world is careless. They don't care. Nobody cares. Okay. I could see why you would get to this belief system, especially tuning into the first part of this reading, where from childhood, being raised for a long time in a very limiting perspective, and feeling that this, I've got to hold on. I need to survive. To survive, I need to fit into this group, causing a lot of unhappiness. That's putting it lightly, really. There's so much hurt and betrayal. This is a lot of betrayal trauma by even the people that are closest to you, that don't care. And it looks like you are not a I think why you didn't fit in this environment and why it was so difficult is you weren't meant to fit in. And there's something disruptive about you, viewer. Purposefully so. Kind of calling this stuff out. So I get why you would have a belief that I've seen the world, and the world's full of people who are uncaring. And there's this energy of F them all. I've seen the world. I've had experiences. Ooh, that's tough. The whole world, it's like painting the world with a solid big brush, saying everybody sucks. I think you've been exploring a lot of challenging experiences. But there are people out there found family, people who want to celebrate you, want to care about you. You haven't met all the people who you're going to love and who are going to love you. I love imagining that and appreciating. I have not met all the people in this world who I'm going to love and who are going to love me. I haven't met all the people in the world who are going to be my friends and who are going to be so kind and who I'm going to have amazing friendships with. And so appreciating like you already have those connections, I find to be helpful energetically, because you have to be in the vibration of what you want to receive. So if you want friendships, if you want community, and that's what this feels like, then you have to be in that energy of community, of care. Yeah, there's something here about feeling out of balance, feeling like you have no resources. And definitely I'm picking up on that in childhood. I feel like you are... I'm not seeing the cards for it, but it feels like abandoned, neglected, abandoned, abused, hurt. Then it feels like gaslit, and you're made to blame for that behavior. It's crazy making this energy that I'm tuned into. So if you are grounded and sane and in this reality, that in itself is quite a blessing that you are able to overcome this and still show up and still be here. Thank you for being here. You are important. You are valuable. You are necessary. Your perspective, your emotions are so very important and valuable. And I'm so grateful that you're still here. And I'm so grateful that you're still fighting and still choosing to be yourself. All right. There's this energy in what's hidden. Very out of balance energy. What's this about? It's an impatience. Let's skip to the good parts. There's an impatience here, and a little bug just landed on the table. Hi, little guy. This is not a good space for you. Can you go somewhere else? Oh, wow. Okay. It looks like the environment that you've left, it feels like your childhood environment where you were raised. They can't reconnect the dots in a different way. On a soul level, it feels like you as a soul viewer, if this has been resonating, you exist. So once you exist, you can't not exist. You exist in different forms. And this place, this space, this 3D experience is finite. It has a definite beginning and an ending, but you do not. You continue on. You are eternal. So as an eternal being, very capable, very powerful, very loving, how interesting to have an experience, a very finite experience of coming into a space and a time and forgetting fully who you are, forgetting how powerful you are, forgetting who you are, and being in a dense environment where people are telling you who you are. Very confusing, very painful experience. But to somebody who's eternal, it feels interesting, curious. Feels like you wanted the experience of waking up and remembering who you are and throwing off the projections of others. And so you might have, on a soul level, purposely chosen the densest family systems that were stuck. It doesn't look like you are specifically their medicine, because it doesn't feel like very many people from the environments, the group, whatever this is, belief systems. It's not conducive for learning, reconnecting the dots in a different way, expansion, seeing things accurately and clearly. But you have an awakening type of energy. And it feels like on a soul level, you really wanted to go from very dense energies, totally forgetting who you are, what the space is, what you're capable of, and then come back online, remember more and more of who you are, and have the expansion just for the experience of it. And it looks like one of the main lessons that you've been learning with the Ace of Cups and the Empress reverse was healing a mother wound. Healing the lack of humanity, the lack of care, the lack of nurturing. Healing and the disconnection with the divine feminine, goddess energy, earth. We're very disconnected with earth as well. And the way we treat earth as a collective feels very much a part of this mother wound. And it looks like you have been learning how to love yourself, not in a mamby-pamby kind of way, but in a really profound way. All the things that you were told in your family of origin, in this toxic structure that you were raised in, to believe that there was something inherently wrong with you, and maybe that's why you deserve the treatment that you received, that you're too much, you're not enough, you don't fit. Thank goodness. You were never meant to fit in. And it feels like part of the healing, huge healing here, is learning how to love those parts of you that you were told were bad and wrong, that those are just parts of you. It feels like you're unscattering your soul and becoming whole, loving yourself completely. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, outcome and advice. Ooh, the Ace of Cups in reverse, and challenged by the moon energy. Okay, so moon energy being a challenge. Moon is your unconscious, subconscious energy, things we hide from ourselves, things we haven't seen yet, haven't experienced yet. Okay. What's challenging, as I'm seeing it, is a lot of those unfelt, unprocessed emotions are coming up to be felt. In the past, the wounds, the hurt, it feels like you couldn't process. There's no emotional intelligence in the environment where you were raised. And so you were just told those parts of you are bad, wrong, a lot of shame and guilt here. So you closed off, like closing a door, and hid parts of you away that you were told were bad or wrong. Like speaking your truth, like speaking out, like acting from your joy, having needs and wants, having your own desires, having your own individuality. Independence does not go in this. So it feels like a lot of you are deconstructing, and there's some uncomfortable emotions coming to the surface from your childhood. Unresolved feelings to be felt. Holding space for those unfelt emotions, unprocessed, without blame or shame, trying to create distance between that energy, letting go of the story and just sitting with the discomfort. I find it helpful if I recognize when's the first time I remember feeling this way. Oh, I think this is when I was about 7 or 8. And sit with those feelings. And instead of being in the story, this person did this and this person, that's not sitting with your pain, that's blaming. Trying to take that pain and push it into that whoever's to blame for it. But they're your emotions. So someone triggered them, someone created this pain, this trauma. But as adults, it's our responsibility to heal from our wounds, to take responsibility for our emotions. It's very empowering to let go of blame and sit with your own emotions. What I've found is when you are able to sit with the uncomfortable emotions that arise, feel it, express it, give it an expression. The only rules that I have given to myself is I don't hurt myself and I don't hurt others, but give those emotions some type of expression. Crying, screaming, painting, writing, creative energy. Get those feelings an expression, a safe place to express themselves. What I've found is when I finally am able to hold space and sit with my emotions until all that emotion is burned through. On the other side of processing my emotions, I have got all this wisdom, and you can't teach wisdom. And what's void in this structure, in this environment that you were raised in, that I'm tuned into, is that there's no wisdom because nobody's processing their emotions and learning from them. They're just maintaining the structure, the belief system, and they're not caring about the individual, about the humanity. Okay. Anything else about the outcome and advice? I think also recognizing, I think you can recognize what's love and what isn't love now. Not someone telling you, oh, well, this is love. Can't you receive love? Well, I'm not. So instead of someone telling you this is love, this is loving, I think you recognize if you feel it or not, if it's loving or not. Okay, this is talking about romantic relationships. It looks like the way you were raised, very familiar with codependency and dependency, and also very accustomed to being treated unjustly, unfairly. And so for a lot of you, your relationships, your romantic relationships, were a continuation of trying to, inner child you trying to solve this riddle. Why was this so painful? And it made you project onto your romantic relationships an idealized version of romance, of fantasy, while tolerating injustices and keeping it quiet. It feels like you want love so badly. You want to be loved and cared for so badly, but because of your childhood upbringing, you don't even recognize. It feels like someone said, this is love. I love you. And that's not love. That's not love. Or screaming at you like, I love you. It's because this is love. That's not love. But I think because you kept being programmed and told that this is love and what's wrong with you, that you can't accept it, kind of set you up for idealizing a romantic relationship, trying to heal from childhood wounds inside that romantic relationship, and instead having a partner who's not loving, who is interested in codependency, dependency. They want, it feels like they're belittling you, benefiting from your labor and creating injustices, but they won't. Yeah, this feels incredibly frustrating. Yeah, it looks like until you decide, I don't think it's a decision. I think you just get completely exhausted and burn out. I think it takes until you're burnt out before you're willing to examine and realize that this is not an option, that this is not love, that what you've been fighting for, what you've been working so hard inside romantic relationships is not love. And it looks like there's this inner discernment that comes in, and a recognition that, holy crap, this isn't love at all. This is a toxic connection, double energy here. This is a long process. I mean, you're choosing to be happy. You're getting back out into the world, learning to love, finding people who love you. Because now you actually do recognize what is love and what's not loving. And you're not listening to someone tell you what something is. You're trusting. You feel much more complete, harder to manipulate. So you've definitely learned a lot from these experiences, and you're no longer giving time, attention, focus to someone who is saying this is love, and you're not receiving it as loving. You have really learned who to invest in and what to invest in, and more importantly, who not to. So, all right, I hope that's helpful. Take care. Have a great day.